Hi everyone. Welcome to GNANA DEEKSHA, concept based on digital learning. My name is Bhagyalatha, PGT Social from Gavidodi, TSWREIS, JC. I would like to extend my warmest wishes to you all on the beginning of our new academic year. Now we are going to learn Social Studies, Indian Relief Features. Welcome to the chapter Indian Relief Features. Learning objectives. By the end of this chapter, you can be able to define a relief feature, explain the relief features of India, identify the location of India in the world, explain the geological background of India, and illustrate the major relief divisions of India, that is, the Himalayas, the Indo-Gangetic Plains, Peninsular Plateau, the Thar Desert, and the coastal plains and the islands. India is the country that covers the greater of South Asia. It is the country with varied diversity. In India, most of the places are located on the river valleys, plains, deserts, plateaus, and islands. Its physiographical diversity includes lofty mountains, flat fold mountains, flat plains, and one of the oldest plateaus of the world. The major relief features of India are the Himalayas, the Peninsular Plateau, the Thar Desert, the Indo-Gangetic Plains, the coastal plains, and the islands. Now we are going to know about the location of India. India is located in the northern hemisphere of the globe. It is the 7th largest country in the world with a total land area of 32,87,590 square kilometers. India's geographical location leads to a variety of vegetation and life forms and also helps in growing various kinds of crops. In India, irrigation of crops mostly takes place from the water provided by the rivers flowing from the Himalayas. In other areas, the water required to raise crops is provided by monsoon rains. Trade routes and fishing can also be carried out in India as it is located to the Indian Ocean with a long coastline of length 6,100 kilometers. On the globe, India lies to the north of the equator between 8 degrees 4 minutes and 37 degrees 6 minutes northern latitudes and 68 degrees 7 minutes and 97 degrees 25 minutes east longitudes. The central longitude 82 degrees 30 minutes east is considered as the standard meridian for India and is the reference for IST, Indian Standard Time, which is 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time GMT. The standard meridian 82 degrees 30 minutes east passes through the Mirzapur city near Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh. India's geographical background. India's geographical position is a result of plate tectonics. It is the shifting of enormous rigid crustal plates over the Earth's underlying layer of molten material. The word landforms originated from two giant lands, Angara land, it is also called Laurasia, and Gondwana land, which was named by Austrian scientist Edward Sears. India was a part of Gondwana land. Gondwana land splits into pieces and the peninsular Indian plate moved towards northeast and came into collision with the Eurasian plain, Angara land. A large basin was formed with breaking of the northern corners of the peninsular plateau. The flat northern plains of India are result of this basin, which got filled with various sediments deposited by the Himalayan rivers from north and peninsular river from south. On its surface, the peninsular plateau is one of the most ancient land blocks. Now let us study about the relief divisions, the Himalayas in detail. The Himalayan mountains are the highest mountains in the world. The name Himalaya means abode of the snow. It is a mountain range in Asia which spread the plains of the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau. The Himalayas are spread across India, China, Nepal, Bhutan and Pakistan. The Himalayan ranges run in the west-east direction in the form of an arch with 2,400 kilometers of distance. The Himalayan ranges varies from 500 kilometers in the western regions to 200 kilometers in central and eastern regions. Following are the three parallel ranges of Himalayas. Greater Himalayas. These are also called Himadri. Then lesser Himalayas, also called Himachal. And third one is Shivaliks. So now we are going to know about the Himadri in detail. The northernmost range is called as Greater Himalayas or Himadri. It consists of highest peak with an average elevation of 6,100 meters above sea level. It is composed of snow and ice cover. Glaciers can also be found here. The water from these Himalayas is the source of the perennial rivers. Perennial rivers get water by rain in rainy season, melting of ice in summer and by snow in the winter season. Other examples include the Indus and its 5 tributaries. Let us now learn about the Himachal. The part of the range which is found south of the Himadri is called as Lesser Himalayas or Himachal. The height of these mountains ranges from 3,700 meters to 4,500 meters. These ranges mostly contain compressed rocks and hence have the rugged relief. The lesser Himalayan ranges include the famous valley of Kashmir, the Kangra and Kulu in Himachal Pradesh. The region which is quite famous for hill stations like Simla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Raniket, etc. The Pir Panjal and Mahabharata ranges are the most important ranges of this region. Let us now learn about the Shivalik ranges. Shivaliks are the southernmost ranges of the Himalayas. The Shivalik Himalaya formed in the last stage of formation of Himalaya. It comprises the outermost range of the Himalayas and is also known as Outer Himalayas. It comprises the outermost range of the Himalayas and is also known as Outer Himalayas. It has a hogback-like appearance due to its steep northern slope. The range runs parallel to the lesser Himalayas for a distance of about 2,400 kilometers from the Potra Plateau to Brahmaputra Valley. The width of these Shivaliks varies from 50 kilometers in Himachal Pradesh to less than 15 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. It is almost an unbroken succession of no hills except a gap of 80 to 90 kilometers which is occupied by the valley of Teesta river. The altitude of Shivaliks varies from 600 to 1500 meters. As the Shivaliks are the last information of Himalayas, they obstructed the flow of a river from the upper reaches of Himalayas and formed big lakes in the valleys. The silt and sediments brought by the rivers got deposited in these lakes. After the rivers had cut their courses through the Shivalik ranges, the lakes are drained away, leaving behind plains called duns in west and duars in the east. The valley lying between the lesser Himalayas and Shivalik ranges are called duns. Example of these duns, Dehra Dun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun. Dehra Dun in Uttaranchal is the best example of such plain which is 75 kilometers long and 15 to 20 kilometers wide. Different names are given to these ranges in different regions. In Jammu, it is called Jammu Hills. In Arunachal Pradesh, it is called Mishmi Hills. And in Assam, Sachar Hills. The Himalayan influence the climatic conditions of India in many ways. Some of these influences are: during severe winter, they protect the plains of India from the cold winds of Central Asia. They are the reason for summer rains and monsoon type of climate in regions that are behind the Western Ghats. The Himalayan rivers contain a lot of silt and it makes the plains very fertile. Dehradun in Uttaranchal is the best example of such plain, which is 75 kilometers long and 15 to 20 kilometers wide. Let us learn now about the Purvanchal ranges. The easternmost boundary of the Himalayas is Brahmaputra Valley in Arunachal Pradesh. Beyond the Dikhang Valley, the Himalayan take a hairpin bend to the south and act as the eastern boundary of India and run through the northeastern states. These divisions known as Purvanchal. Regionally, the Purvanchal hills are known as Patka Hills, the Naga Hills, Manipuri Hills, Kasi and Mizo Hills. They cover the states of Jammu, Assam, Manipur, Tripura, Nagaland. The Purvanchal hills are composed of sedimentary sandstone. Concept map of Indo-Gangetic Plains. Now let us discuss another important relief features of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. The Indo-Gangetic Plain is also called as the North Indian River Plain. It is large and fertile plain covering most of north and eastern India. The western part. This part was formed by the Indus and its tributaries, that is the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Satluj. The Indus River basin is largely located in Pakistan, excluding a little portion of Punjab and Haryana plains in India. This region has the Doe features, that is the features of land between two diverging or converging rivers. The central part. It is called as the Ganga Plain. It extended from the rivers Gagra to Teesta. It is spread across the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand and West Bengal. It is the place where rivers like Ganga, Yamuna merge and get distributed into their tributaries, Son, Kosi, etc. The eastern part mainly exists in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam. The eastern part mainly existed in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam. Apart from forming the Indo-Gangetic Plains, the river flowing from the Himalayas caused deposition of gravel and pebble settlements leading to the formation of narrow belt. This belt is situated under the names of Babar and Terai. The Babar Belt, a belt which is adjacent to the foothills of the Himalayas and consists of boulders and pebbles. The Babar is a narrow belt of 8 km to 16 km wide. The Terai Belt, a belt which lies next to the Babar region and is composed of newer alluvium. The region is mostly moist with thick forest and it is swampy and marshy. It receives heavy rainfall throughout the year and includes a wide variety of wildlife. Concept map of Peninsular Plateau. A plateau is a landform characterized by a flat-topped region that is elevated above the surrounding lands. Indian plateau is called as the Peninsular Plateau since it is surrounded by the sea on three sides. It is composed of old crystalline, hard igneous and metamorphic rocks. Huge amounts of metallic and non-metallic mineral resources can be found in the Indian plateau. The Peninsular Plateau includes two divisions which are as follows. One is the Malwa Plateau. These are also called Central Highlands and second one is Deccan Plateau. The Central Highlands can be found south of the Gangetic Plains and the north of the river Narmada. Here the most important plateaus are Malwa Plateau on west side and Chota Nagpur Plateau on east side. The Chota Nagpur Plateau is rich in mineral resources. The Deccan Plateau lies to the south of the Narmada. The Deccan Plateau's north edge consists of Satpura range, whereas the eastern edge consists of Mahadeva and Kaimur range and a portion of Maikal range. The western, eastern and southern boundaries are formed by Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats and Nilagiris respectively. Now it's just time to study about the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats run parallel to the western coast in north-south direction. They extend from the river Tapi, central India to Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu. These Ghats are continuous with a very few passes in between them, which form the gateways of the coastal plains. And Udagamandalam is also called Ooty, is a famous hill station along the Western Ghats located in Nilagiris. Here the highest mountain is the Dodabetta. It is 2637 meters. The Western Ghats are joined by Nilagiris near Gudalur, rising the height of about 2000 meters. Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats run in a northeast to southwest direction parallel to the east coast of the country. They extended from Mahanadi Valley in Odisha to Nilagiris in Tamil Nadu. These Ghats are not continuous. Now let us learn about the Thar Desert. The Thar Desert is situated in the west part of Rajasthan, India. It is the world's 7th largest desert and consists of sand and rocky outcrops. It is located on the leeward side of the Aravallis and receives a very low amount of rainfall ranging from 100 millimeters to 500 millimeters per year. It has an arid climate, little or no rain and poor vegetation cover. Streams appear only during the rainy season but disappear soon. The only river in this area is Luni. The internal drainage rivers merge into lakes and do not reach the sea. Indira Gandhi Canal. It is the longest canal in the country, 650 kilometers, water part of the Thar Desert. Hence, several hectares of desert land have been brought under cultivation. Now, let us learn about the coastal plains. Concept map of coastal plains. The coastal plains is an area of flat, low-lying land adjacent to a sea coast. The southern part of the peninsular plateau is bordered by narrow coastal stripes along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast starts from a place called Ran of Kutch and ends at Kanyakumari. The western coast is more narrower than eastern coast. The western coastal plain is uneven and it is divided into three parts, that is Konkan coast. It is situated in northern part which touches Maharashtra and Goa. Canara coast, middle part which includes plains of Karnataka. Malabar coast, the southern part which mostly in the state of Kerala. The Bay of Bengal east coast plains are wide, have large surface structure and are very fertile. These plains start from Mahanadi in Odisha to Kaveri deltas in Tamil Nadu. The rivers which helps in the formation of these plains include Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri rivers. These coastal plains have different local names like Utkal coast in Odisha, Sarkar coast in Andhra Pradesh, Coromandel coast in Tamil Nadu. Let us now look at the concept map of island. Now it's time to know another relief feature, the islands. Generally, an island is defined as a piece of land which is completely surrounded by water. The word island came from the Middle English word igland, which in turn came from the Old English word. There exist two groups of islands in India. They are Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands. The Andaman and Nicobar group of islands are stretched in the Bay of Bengal. These are the portions of submerged mountain parts which run from Myanmar mountain Arakan Yoma. In these islands, Nakondam and Barren Islands are volcanic origin, and Indira Point was the southernmost tip of India in the Nicobar Islands, but it got submerged due to unfortunate tsunami which devastated the entire world in the year 2004. Lakshadweep Islands. These islands are coral origin. The total geographical area covered by these islands is 32 square kilometers. Lakshadweep Islands are popular for a wide variety of flora, plants and fauna wildlife. In conclusion, it is important to note that there was a vast diversity in the landforms in which Indian people live. Some areas are indicated by the mighty rivers flowing from the Himalayas and some by the rain-fed rivers from Western Ghats and its forest. Many places are located in the river valleys and others in the mountains. Now it is time for the check for understanding. Attend the following questions. The peninsular plateau of India belongs to which of the following landmass? Angara land, Tethys, Eurasian plate, Gondwana land. Gondwana land, which was named by Austrian scientists Edward Suez, Caramenger, Martin Novak, Edmund Rumpler. And at the surface, one of the most ancient landmarks. Lakshadweep Islands, Andaman Islands, Nicobar Islands, Peninsular Plateau. The other name of Laurasia is Gondwana land, Angara land, Indian land, Austrian land. The height of the Lesser Himalayas ranges from 2,400 meters, 3,500 meters, 3,700 meters or 4,500 meters, 3,600 meters, 4,500 meters, and D 1,500 meters to 2,500 meters. The northernmost range of Himalayas is known as Himadri, Himachal, Shivaliks, Duns. The average elevation of Western Ghats ranges from 4,500 to 3,500 meters and 800 meters or 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters to 1,500 meters, 900 meters, 1,100 meters. The island which are stretches in Bay of Bengal are Andaman Nicobar Islands. The third is it Lakshadweep Islands, Greenland. Indira Point is the end point in Lakshadweep Islands. Third is it Andaman Island and Nicobar Islands. At the end of this lesson, you have learned that India is a country with varied diversity. It has a great diversity of relief features related to landscape of a particular area, and it contains all the major physical features of the earth like mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus and islands, and location and area of India. 82 degrees 30 minutes Indian Standard Meridian passes through the Mirzapur city near Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh. India was a part of Gondwana land. The Himalayan mountains are the highest mountains in the world and spread across India, China, Nepal, Bhutan and Pakistan. The Himalayan influence the climatic conditions of India in many ways. The formation of northern plain is a result of the interaction of the three Himalayan rivers Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributaries. Indian plateau is called as the Peninsular Plateau since it is surrounded by the sea on three sides. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. The Indian desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. This is called as the Great Indian Desert or the Thar Desert. Luni is the only large river in this region. There are few streams, seldom seen. They are dry most time in the year. The southernmost tip of India was Indira Point. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are volcanic origin and Lakshadweep Islands are coral origin. Click for understanding. India lies totally in dash hemisphere. Northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. Indian standard meridian passes through dash Varanasi, Allahabad, Hyderabad and New Delhi. The third one is the Nilgiris join the Western Ghats at Dodabetta, Gudalur, Anaimudi and Udagamandalam. The northern part of western coast is called A. Konkan coast, B. Canara coast, C. Malabar coast and D. Utkal coast. Now it is time for improve your learning. What is the influence of Himalaya on Indian agriculture? Plateau regions in India do not support agriculture as much as the plain regions. What are the reasons for that? Look at the following places on Indian physical map of your atlas. Aravallis, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Thar Desert and Malwa Plateau.